The film opens on Sharon, a 45-year-old widow still reeling from her husband's brutal murder months earlier. The killer remains at large, leaving Sharon hollowed by grief and struggling to hold together the fragments of her life. Her college-aged son Anthony shares her devastation, the loss of his father casting a shadow over everything. Though Sharon manages to keep up with work and care for Anthony, the vibrant woman she once was has been replaced by a ghost of herself, moving through each day in a fog of loneliness. Her childhood friend Mark, now a police officer assigned to her husband's case, visits regularly with updates. Though he reassures her the investigation is progressing, Sharon sees the unspoken affection in his eyes, a tenderness that's existed since their school days. But to her, Mark will only ever be a friend, a tether to the life she's lost. At college, Anthony drifts through his new environment like a shadow. His quiet nature makes him an easy target for bullies until Dylan intervenes one day with effortless charm. 19 years old with a disarming smile and easy confidence, Dylan commands attention wherever he goes. When he notices Anthony's lingering glances at a female classmate, Dylan bridges the gap with natural charisma, leaving Anthony flushed with gratitude and something resembling hope. Later, in the locker room, Anthony voices the question that's been nagging at him. Why are you helping me? Dylan's smile falters for the first time. I know about your dad, he admits quietly. Mine killed himself, I get it. The raw honesty in his voice forges an instant bond between them. Their friendship deepens quickly. When Anthony invites Dylan home, Sharon is surprised by the sharpness of her son's laughter, a sound she hasn't heard since before the tragedy. But something about Dylan's gaze lingers too long when he looks at her, sending an unexpected shiver down her spine. The pool party Anthony plans becomes a turning point. Watching her son interact happily with classmates, Sharon feels the first glimmer of relief in months, until she catches Dylan's intense stare from across the yard. Later, she finds him shirtless in her bedroom, examining a family photo. Wrong room, he claims smoothly when confronted, though his eyes tell a different story. His whispered confession, I know what it's like to miss a father, stirs something protective in Sharon, though she can't explain why his presence leaves her so unsettled. When Dylan learns Sharon plans to sell their second home, a gift from her late husband, he orchestrates a private tour under the pretense of his uncle's interest. As they walk through the empty rooms, their casual conversation takes on an unexpected intimacy. Sharon finds herself laughing at his jokes, leaning into his space, until the realization of what's happening sends a jolt through her system. Meanwhile, Dylan's influence on Anthony grows. He secures the phone number of Anthony's crush, coaches him through asking her out, even lends his car for the date, all while positioning himself alone in the house with Sharon. Their conversation that night crosses invisible lines, with Dylan coaxing out Sharon's confession about her unfulfilling marriage. When he suggests tearing up her husband's book, the act feels both sacrilegious and liberating. The shower scene unfolds with terrifying inevitability. Steam fills the bathroom as Sharon senses rather than sees the intrusion. When she turns, Dylan stands there. Not the charming boy who befriended her son, but someone else entirely. His silent undressing is both question and answer. In that suspended moment, Sharon's hesitation becomes complicity, her loneliness overriding every warning bell as they cross a threshold from which there's no return. Anthony's date unfolds like a dream. Dinner under soft lights, stolen glances, and a tender kiss at her doorstep that lingers in his memory. He returns home glowing, sharing his happiness with Dylan, who listens with a smile that doesn't reach his eyes. As Dylan drives away in his borrowed car, the facade cracks. His home is a cramped apartment, the flashy lifestyle smoke and mirrors. The car, the clothes, the charm, all part of an elaborate performance. The truth flickers on his laptop screen, drafts of every cruel email he'd sent Sharon over months, each word carefully crafted to unsettle her. His friendship with Anthony, merely the opening act of a revenge years in the making. The next day at college, tension crackles when the bully confronts Anthony's love interest. Enjoy slumming with Anthony? He sneers. When she stiffens, he leans closer. Ask the office about Dylan's records. That pretty boy's got blood on his hands. Meanwhile, Sharon's phone lights up with Dylan's request to revisit the second home, the site of their dangerous attraction. That evening, as their lips meet in the dim hallway, headlights slash through the windows. Unseen in the idling car, a camera rolls, capturing every compromising moment. Morning brings devastation. The girl shoves her phone at Anthony, the screen displaying his mother tangled with Dylan. He's 21, she whispers. Dropped out years ago. And Anthony ... her voice breaks. He told me to come last night. This was all a setup. When she mentions the stabbing rumor, Anthony's world tilts. Across the quad, Dylan watches the confrontation with cold detachment. As the girl turns to leave, he snatches her phone, transferring the incriminating video with practiced ease before she wrenches it back and flees. Chaos erupts simultaneously at Sharon's home. Her assistant's gasp draws attention to the viral video now splashed across social media. The doorbell rings like a death knell. Her police officer friend stands rigid on the threshold, his face ashen. "They took me off your husband's case," he says flatly. When Sharon's confession spills out, the emails, the affair, Dylan, his expression crumbles. All this time, he turns away, the unspoken accusation hanging between them. "You could have saved your husband." Nightfall brings the cruelest twist. Anthony pedals toward Dylan's house, lured by a fake text from the girl's number. The moment he calls Dylan's name, darkness swallows him, a blunt impact sending him crashing to the dirt. Inside, Dylan sends one final message to Sharon from Anthony's phone, "Staying at Dylan's tonight." Then he waits. The trap springs when Sharon arrives at the second home, drawn by another cryptic email. The flickering TV screen stops her cold. It plays security footage of her husband's final moments. The camera shakes, then focuses on the killer's face. Dylan, younger but unmistakable. His voice behind her is chillingly calm. "Recognize him? My father." As the full story unfolds, Sharon's long-ago affair destroying Dylan's family, his years of planning revenge, the pieces click into place with horrifying clarity. Every kindness, every touch, every whispered confidence had been calculated to bring her to this moment of utter ruin. The room felt heavy, like the air before a big storm. Dylan's eyes were dark and angry, like a wolf about to pounce. Slowly, he pulled out a shiny knife, the same one that had taken Sharon's husband away. His voice was a dangerous whisper. "This knife ended your husband's life, and my father's too. Now, it's your turn." Sharon's heart pounded like a drum. Her fingers shook as she held the cold knife. But then, quick as lightning, she slashed at Dylan's leg. "Ah!" he yelled, stumbling back. Sharon didn't wait. She turned and ran. Just as her friend, the police officer, burst through the door. "Help!" she gasped, her chest heaving. "It was Dylan. He killed my husband, and now he has Anthony." The officer's face turned hard. "We'll find him," he promised. Gripping his gun, the officer immediately drew his weapon, but Dylan had already vanished into the night. Their desperate search led them first to Dylan's empty house, then into the surrounding forest where shadows played tricks on their exhausted eyes. Branches clawed at their faces as they pushed deeper into the woods until a gunshot shattered the silence. They found the officer first, bleeding heavily from a stab wound, his voice weak as he urged them onward. Then Dylan emerged from the darkness like a phantom, the stolen gun steady in his grip as he leveled it at Sharon. Anthony's voice cut through the tension as he threw himself between them, his body shielding his mother. "She didn't make your father do anything," he shouted. In that moment of distraction, the girl attacked Dylan from behind, her teeth sinking into his arm until the gun fell to the forest floor. Sharon seized the weapon and struck Dylan hard across the temple, watching as his body collapsed into the dirt. As she stood over him, finger tightening on the trigger, Anthony's plea stopped her. "Don't become what he is." The approaching siren signaled the end of Dylan's reign of vengeance. Months later, life had found a new rhythm. Sharon and the officer shared quiet coffees. His wound healed, but the memory still fresh. Anthony had grown closer to both his mother and the girl who had helped save them, their bond strengthened by shared trauma. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also hit the bell icon so you never miss new videos.